Now, you all students want to become an interpreter, correct? And I've noticed that some of you students are ready and that you have an ability within you that allows you to interpret and just go ahead and do it. This is what some people may call natural. And there's other students who really struggle and they work extremely hard and they practice, and yet they still struggle and have to fight to become an interpreter. They still just don't have something that allows them to have that skill. And I know those students that are typically not skilled and they look at those other students and sometimes they'll even be jealous and they wish they were the same as them and want their parents to be deaf, and they practice but they don't seem to ever improve and be successful. So I want to discuss that today. Not necessarily that if you practice or not, but this thing that you just naturally have within you. We're going to call it talent. Now, this word talent may be different to some of you. True talent is within you, correct? Now, we've researched people who are successful in their fields, and they have this natural skill, this natural talent, and we want to see, why is it easy for some and not as easy for others? So these people that we have researched that are successful in their fields, and we have looked back at their history, and each of these individuals to do an MRI scan and drew their blood and looked at their DNA to see if they had this natural talent within it? Not exactly. We looked at those people and they had 2 or 3 things in common. Now, the first is that they were interested and motivated. They had a passion for what they were skilled in. Also, they worked really hard, but they asked their teacher for help, and they really made that connection with them, as well as having a mentor, someone that they called on to help them and work with them side by side. Now, someone might say that those people they practiced and then just moved on to the next skill and practiced that. But they worked on many skills at the same time and improved all of these. If they worked on just one skill a lot, they would improve a little, not drastically, but by practicing many skills, they would notice that they were improving more and more. They didn't just focus on one thing. You need to focus on many different things in that field. So if you wanted to be an interpreter, would you go out there and sit down with one person and just continue signing with them? Would that be considered practice? No. You need to practice with many different people. You know that person's signing and their sign choices and their tendencies. You know them. So it would be the same old thing. And that's not going to improve your skills at all. You need to work really hard on that and interact with many different people. So by working on these skills, you could improve by working on these things, you can improve your skills in order to be successful. And the reason why you need a mentor is Because you're not just going to practice on your own and improve those skills by yourself. You're going to need that person giving you feedback and telling you what you need to work on. That's how you improve. So you can't just have one mentor. You need lots of different people telling you what you need to improve on and what you need help with. And different people that have skills and that are also skilled and have this natural talent to help you. Now, some people may just be born with this innate talent, and others maybe not. Now, we looked at those that are born with deaf parents, their son or daughter, a coda specifically, and they grow up and they have no desire to interpret. They're not motivated. They don't have that desire to do that. And maybe they will interpret, but will they be successful? No, they'll just be average. Just fine. But those who have that passion and desire will be successful and amazing. Oh, interpreter error. Some may be successful and amazing. But what's important is that you have the desire, the want to work hard and to ask people for help. Now, something else we found is that people who are successful in their field also have a very supportive family. And if you don't have family support, typically you are not successful. And the reason behind that is because when you want to talk to your parents, you're like, Mom, I had an awful day interpreting, and your parents are there for you. You have that family support. So it's important for you to remember that first you want to decide that you want to be an interpreter. And second, you are willing to work hard. Third, you're willing to ask people for help and ask for that mentor support. And fourth, you need that family support behind you. Interacting with the deaf community and morning, noon, and night, and not just one person. You need to get out there and go and interact with many different people and work really hard to improve your skills. Are you willing to allow other people to criticize your work? Some people don't have what we call thick skin, and they're not willing to accept criticism. But in this field, you are going to have a lot of criticism. While you're interpreting, you are always being criticized, and people will always judge you. Deaf people will be judging you, hearing people will be judging you, and you should also be analyzing your own personal work. You should never just accept good enough and be done. You should always be willing to go to workshops and practice extremely hard and accept this feedback, because the world is always changing. And this means vocabulary and the language itself is always changing. Do you remember, well, maybe you guys might not remember, but back in 9/11, afterwards, there were all these new words, new countries, new names that we weren't used to, and I was picking up on all this as I went. So you have to be willing to work hard and never accept just good enough and that you're successful and now you're done. You need to be willing to work hard and practice more and more. You have to have this desire and ability to improve yourself. Never just think that I graduated and now it's finished. So you need to put on those gloves and improve your skills if you want to become successful. So don't just sit down and think that you're done. You need to work really hard and always have questions forever.